The machines were screaming. Flatline is not a sound. It's a verdict. I couldn't move, couldn't open my eyes, but I could hear everything. Time of death. Wait, the nurse whispered. Sir, your son's heart just stopped. Silence. Then my father exhaled. Not grief, relief, and he smiled. You can hear a smile when you're listening for it. That was the moment I stopped being his son and started becoming something else. My father used to call me his miracle. He'd tell people I survived a difficult birth, that I fought to breathe from the beginning. He liked that story. It made him look heroic. He built his life on appearances. Sunday church, golf with donors, the kind of handshake that lingers just a second too long. He ran a regional logistics empire out of Chicago, the kind of business that moved things quietly and asked no questions. I grew up in boardrooms and back seats of black sedans. He taught me leverage before he taught me love. But he also taught me something else. Never show your whole hand. I learned that lesson too well. By 32, I had my own career, one he never understood because I never explained it. Officially, I was in risk consulting. Technically true. I specialized in corporate liability exposure. Unofficially, I dismantled powerful men who believed they were untouchable. I was very good at it, and very discreet. The accident that put me in that hospital bed wasn't random. Brake failure. On a new car. In dry weather. Strange, especially since I'd been auditing one of my father's subsidiaries for a private client, a shell company with numbers that bled corruption. When I woke up 2 days after my death, I didn't react. I stayed still. The doctor called it a miracle. My father called it God's will. He didn't know I remembered everything. He didn't know I heard him sign the DNR before my heart stopped. He didn't know I heard the quiet urgency in the nurse's voice. The way she hesitated. Or the way he didn't. The discovery wasn't dramatic. It was paperwork. I requested my hospital file. Every page. The DNR was signed 40 minutes after I was admitted, before internal bleeding was stabilized, before neurological assessment. He had authority, yes, but urgency? That was personal. Then I pulled vehicle diagnostics. Remote access logs showed manual override of brake firmware. Someone with internal vendor credentials. One of my father's subsidiaries owned that vendor. Coincidence is lazy storytelling. This was intent. The pain didn't come all at once. It came in waves, memories layered with doubt. Birthday speeches, hand on my shoulder, pride in his voice. All of it recalculated. He didn't see a son. He saw a liability, and liabilities are eliminated. That's when grief turned into geometry. Revenge is math, timing, angles, pressure points. And I had time. I never confronted him. Instead, I visited the nurse. Her name was Elena, mid-30s, exhausted eyes, ethical spine. She remembered me. You weren't gone, she said quietly. I told him we should try again. I asked her one question. Did he hesitate? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. I offered her nothing but truth. I was investigating corporate malfeasance connected to my father's company. I suspected criminal negligence, possibly attempted homicide. I never asked her to lie. Only to testify if necessary. Then I started building the case. For 18 months, I dismantled him from the inside. I accessed offshore accounts tied to holding companies in the Cayman Islands. Cross-referenced shipment logs with unreported hazardous materials. Quietly fed data to a federal contact I'd worked with before. I structured it so the investigation wouldn't touch me. Every breadcrumb led to him. Every audit trail looped back to his signature. I even found the internal memo authorizing risk mitigation protocols the week before my crash. Mitigation, that was the word he used. For me. The execution wasn't loud. It was surgical. On the morning of his annual shareholders' gala, federal agents walked into his office. I was already in the ballroom when the news hit. Phones lit up. Whispers spread. Stock plummeted in real time. He arrived late, flanked by lawyers, pale, controlled, still performing. When he saw me standing near the stage, he froze. I hadn't attended one of these in years. He approached slowly. You look well, he said. I had good care, I replied. His jaw tightened. I hear there are misunderstandings. There are records, I corrected. For the first time in my life, he looked uncertain. You don't understand how complicated business can be. I understand brake overrides, I said softly. And early DNRs? His eyes flickered. There it was. Recognition, not guilt. Calculation. He leaned closer. You think you can survive without this family? I smiled. I already did. Then the agents entered the ballroom. Not for him. For the announcement. Charges filed. Assets frozen. Investigation public. Shareholders erupted. Cameras flashed. The empire he built on silence collapsed under documentation. He didn't look at the agents. He looked at me. And in his eyes, for the first time, I saw it. Fear. Not of prison. Of irrelevance. Of being outplayed by the son he tried to erase. The fallout was swift. Board members resigned. Bank accounts locked. News anchors dissected his legacy on national television. He was indicted on multiple counts of fraud. Environmental violations and conspiracy. The attempted murder never made headlines. I kept that for myself. He sits in a federal facility now, awaiting sentencing. He's requested to see me twice. I declined. Closure is a luxury for the innocent. I don't need his apology. I already heard his verdict. Flatline. Relief. That smile. He taught me leverage. He taught me silence. He taught me never to show my whole hand. I never told my family what I really did for a living. Now they know. I don't dismantle companies. I dismantle men who believe blood makes them untouchable. He signed a DNR thinking I was already gone. What he didn't realize was this. I was listening. And when my heart stopped, I started planning.